Hi everyone. It's exciting to welcome you again to our YouTube channel. How are you doing? Hope you're doing really great and all is well. I want to welcome you first, especially to the month of May. God has been faithful. God has been so good. God has brought us thus far. And I believe that God, who has seen us through January, February, March, April, May, and has brought us into May, will see us through up till December and many more years to come. Okay, so this is welcoming you to our YouTube channel and to another exciting road trip. Okay, so this road trip is from UYO in Akwa Ibom State to WARRI in Delta State. Both states are in Nigeria. It was such a fun, filled, adventurous, and exciting trip. So it gives me so much, joy to have us, go through this trip again together. So Uyo is the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Akwa Ibom is a state in South Nigeria. Don't forget, in one of our previous videos, I told you Nigeria is divided into 6 geopolitical zones. So Uyo is the capital of Akwa Ibom, and Akwa Ibom is under the South geopolitical zone. Okay, so Uyo became the capital of Akwa Ibom State in September 23, 1987, when Akwa Ibom was created from the former Cross River State. Ibibio is a primary indigenous language of the UYO people, you know. And okay, so let's talk about Akwa Ibom State briefly. Akwa Ibom State, as I said earlier, is a state in the South geopolitical zone of Nigeria. It borders Cross River State to the east, Rivers State and Abia State to the west and northwest, and the Atlantic Ocean to the south. The state takes its name from the Kwaibo River, which bisects the state before flowing into the Bight of Bonny. Akwa Ibom was split from Cross River State in 1987. The state at the moment has 31 local government areas, and as I said earlier, its capital is Uyo. As always with Nigerian states, and many states or nations of the world, the nickname of Akwa Ibom State is the land of promise. Please enjoy your views. All right, so of the 36, as we know, Nigeria has 36 states and the FCT, which is a federal capital territory, which is Abuja and happens to be the capital of Nigeria. Okay, so Akwa Ibom is the 30th largest in area and the 15th most populous, with an estimated population of nearly 5.5 million as at 2016. Geographically, the state is divided between the Central African mangroves in the coastal far south and the Cross-Niger transition forest in the rest of the state. Other important geographical features are Imo State, Imo and Cross Rivers, Imo River and Cross River, which flows along Akwa Ibom's eastern and western borders respectively, while the Kwaibo River bisects the state before flowing into the Bight of Bonny as we discussed earlier. It's important to note also concerning about Akwa Ibom that there are 20 languages spoken as first language in Akwa Ibom. Meanwhile, the most prominent is Anang, Ibibio, Eket, and Oron. But besides that, in addition to that, altogether there are 20 languages, which of course are as follows. Okay, so the Anang covers the Abak, Esienudum, Ikodikpenek, Orogonam, and Okanafon local government areas. There is Ebuhu, which is Mbo and Oron local government. There is Efai, which is Mbo. There is Efik, which is Itu, Oron, and Oran. There's Ekit, which covers Eket and Esedeket local government. There's Inwang, which is Mbo local government. There's Etebi, the Esedeket local government. But under Ibibio, you have Etinan, you have Oron, you have Ikorabasi, Itu, Nkpadeni, Nsedatai, Nsedobium, Ona, Oran, and Uyo local government areas. There is Situmbuzo, which covers Ikono and Itu local government areas. There is Ika, which covers the Ika local government. There's Iko, which is Eastern Obolo. There's Idere, which covers Itu local government area. There's Obolo Andoni, which covers Eastern Ibolo and Ibono local government area. There's Okobo, which is Okobo local government. There's Oro, which is Oron local government. There's Uda, which is Mbo local government. So this is unique to Akwa Ibom. Like I always say, when it has to do with Nigeria, there's so much of diversity, multi-diversity. Nigeria is a country full of multiple, diverse languages and ethnic group. But in spite of that, with God's help, we've always had unity in spite of diversity. Please enjoy your views. Okay, it's also important to note that the governor of Akwa Ibom is Pastor Omo Eno. And also, what is Akwa Ibom known for? Akwa Ibom is primarily known for its high oil and gas production. Akwa Ibom in Nigeria is an oil-producing state. So, the high oil and gas production makes it the leading oil-producing state in Nigeria. It also boasts of a rich cultural heritage. As I've always said, Akwa Ibom people are very hospitable, very friendly. They like to, relate. They like to make friends. They like to party. They like to vibe. They like to enjoy themselves. So it's a place of warm hospitality, diverse natural beauty, including a long coastline. Additionally, the state is a major agricultural producer of crops like cocoyam, yam, plantain, cassava, and much more. Okay, so it's important to note also that in recent times, Akwa Ibom State has been known as Akwa Abasibom State. What does that mean? It means the state of the Almighty God. That means the state of a people owned by God. Abasi is the supreme creator, supreme God of the Efik, Ibibio, and Anang people. So unitedly, Akwa Ibom is a state that belongs to God and is subject to God. Please enjoy your views. It was such an exciting trip. Okay, so let's get back to the trip. All right, so like I said earlier, this exciting road trip is from Uyo in Akwa Ibom to WARRI in Delta State. Of course, through Port Harcourt. For some reasons, we had something to do for just a limited time in Port Harcourt. So the trip took us into Port Harcourt and out again into WARRI in Delta State. So altogether, the trip was about 309 kilometers, which means about 6 hours 43 minutes. Of course, you must understand that getting from Uyo to Warri, you know, there are many ways. You can use your private car, you can use a public taxi, you can use the Sienna car. I always recommend Sienna if you're doing public transport, not the bus. I bet there's also bus because there's some people that prefer the bus. So there are many transport, agencies. There's AKTC, there is Peace Mass, there is ABC Transport, there's GUO, there's GIG. A lot of transporters, and the ones, of course, that you get by the roadside for those who, patronize that, because I know a lot of persons do that in Nigeria. Okay, but for me, I don't think that is very safe. But either ways, if that's your choice, it's still fine. But I prefer, to go into a bus, station, book the ticket, and join the vehicle. I think that is safer. Even though in Nigeria, you don't need your passport, you don't need anything, you just need to pay. As long as you pay, you can get any seat of your choice, depending on the time you paid anyways. So the journey began from Uyo, precisely IBB Way in Uyo. From Uyo, we passed through, Ekoriman Junction, the junction that, is between Uyo, Abak, and Ekate. From there, we got into a part of Abak town. Then we went into a part of Abak too that is called Ibawa, where you have, the naval base. From there, the journey continued. Please enjoy your views. Right, so the journey took us through different parts of Akwa Ibom, basically. I think we went through, what's it called now? From Abak, we got into, there's a route that you can go through called Ekwenebe. We didn't take that side. We went into Nkwadenin. From Nkwadenin, we busted out at a place, a particular junction, that the left side goes to, Ekate, but the right side goes to Port Harcourt. So by the time we got to Port Harcourt Expressway, we went all the way to Eleme. Everybody knows Eleme, particularly in Nigeria. We then got into Eleme. From Eleme, we got into the main town. Like I said, we spent, I think, about 2 hours in Port Harcourt to do one or two things that were very necessary. And from there, the trip continued from Port Harcourt. We got into, Delta State. That's from Port Harcourt in Rivers State. We got into Delta State. Of course, you enter into Delta State, we got to Patani, we got to Ugeli, and then we got into Warri. It was such a wonderful, such a lovely trip. I enjoyed every bit of it because, excitingly, and of course, and surprisingly too, the roads were good, the roads were wonderful. We have this care in Nigeria about, robberies or kidnappings, but I want to tell you that, we didn't encounter any of that. And I know we'll never encounter that anyways, in Jesus' name, amen. But, safety measures is better, like I said in our previous video, to travel in the daytime. Okay, please enjoy your views. All right, so the view that we just saw is Solid Rock Kingdom Church. That is one of the most popular churches in Akwa Ibom and is located in Nkwadeni. Please enjoy your views. All right, so for the trip, because of the trip, we passed through, like I said, Port Harcourt. So we're going to talk briefly about Port Harcourt and River State, and we'll also talk briefly about Warri and Delta State. So Port Harcourt, fondly known in Pidgin as Pitakwa, is the capital and largest city in River State of Nigeria. Okay, so it's the fifth most populous city in Nigeria after Lagos, Kano, Ibadan, Benin. So after Lagos, Kano, Ibadan, and Benin is Port Harcourt. Okay, so it's the fifth most populous. It lies along the Bonny River and is located in the oil-rich Niger Delta region. The population of the metropolitan area of Port Harcourt is almost twice its urban area population, with a 2015 United Nations estimation of 2.3 million. All right, so Port Harcourt is the capital city of Rivers State in Nigeria. Okay, so historically, Port Harcourt was founded in 1912 by Frederick Lord Lugard, governor of both the Northern Nigeria Protectorate and the Southern Nigeria Protectorate. Its purpose was to export the coal that geologist Albert Ernest had discovered in Enugu in 1909. The colonial government caused the people of Dubu to cede their land, and in 1912, the building of a port town was started. Other villages were later absorbed into the city. In the creeks to the south of the original port were the fishing camps and grounds of the Wakireke Ijo group. So during the First World War, Port Harcourt was used as a point for military operations against the Central Power in German Cameroon. After the discovery of crude oil in Olubiri in 1956, Port Harcourt exported the first shipload from Nigeria in 1958. So Port Harcourt became the center of the Nigerian oil economy, and it subsequently reaped benefits of its association with the petroleum industry by undergoing modernization and urbanization. So over time, Port Harcourt also has grown to become the commercial center and famous industrial city of the former eastern regions. Its position in the Niger Delta and its importance as a center for social and economic life in Rivers State is owing to this. Please enjoy your views. Port Harcourt is also a major industrial center as it has a large number of multinational firms as well as other industrial concerns, particularly business related to the petroleum industry. It is a chief oil refining city in Nigeria and has two main oil refineries located at Eleme. Okay, so both refineries process about 210,000 barrels of crude oil per day, both operated by the Port Harcourt Refining Company. So Rivers State is one of the wealthiest states in Nigeria in terms of gross domestic product and foreign exchange revenue from the oil industry, crude oil being its principal export earner. So notably, Port Harcourt, as I said, is the capital and the largest city in Rivers State. It is predominantly habited by Ikwere, Okrika, and Kalabari speaking tribes. A particular, most people believe that Port Harcourt is owned by the riverine people of Okrika and not Aquarius, but whatever it is, they are all tribes in Port Harcourt and, in Rivers State, as the case may be. So, okay, I want us to talk, while we talk about Port Harcourt, we'll talk briefly about Rivers State. So Port Harcourt also is the Gulf city. English is generally spoken, but the Kwere of the Kwere people is also spoken. Pidgin English is widely spoken also. Okay, Port Harcourt was named after Lord Louis Harcourt, the Secretary of State for the colonies in 1913. So Port Harcourt is generally known as PH City. It is one of the most beautiful places to visit in Nigeria. It's home to 1.2 billion people are thereabout. Port Harcourt is also the second largest port in Nigeria, located 64 kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean. It is a city rich in culture and tourism. Okay, so as I said earlier, Port Harcourt is the capital of Rivers State. Rivers State is a state in the Niger Delta region of southern Nigeria. It was formed on 27th May 1967 when it was split from the former Eastern region. Rivers State is bordered by Imo and Anambra to the north, Abia and Akwa Ibom states to the east, Bayelsa and Delta states to the west. It's such a beautiful place for those that have ever visited there. And quite notably, the governor Fubara has been suspended or is under suspension, but there's an interim administrator, Vice Admiral Iboete Ibas, that takes charge and is in charge of the state, of course, for the next, 6 months. So Rivers State is the fourth most populous state in Nigeria. Rivers State is a diverse state that is home to many ethnic groups: Ikwere, Degema, Ijo, Ogoni, Ogba, Ekpeyi, and Kalabari. The state is particularly noted for its linguistic diversity, with over 30 indigenous languages and dialects being said to be spoken in Rivers State. Note that in Akwa Ibom there were 20 indigenous languages, but in Rivers State it's 30. That's quite a lot, but it's wonderful. That's the diversity I was talking about. It makes for unity, it makes it even more wonderful and more exciting. So Rivers State is the 25th largest state by area in Nigeria. The economy of Rivers State is dominated by the state's blooming petroleum industry. Although the rise of the oil industry has led to increased revenue for the state government, mismanagement and corruption have prevented the state from rapid development and meaningfully tackling poverty. I believe that is temporary and there will be a different story at another time. Things will get better. But meanwhile, Rivers State is considered to be one of the fastest growing states in terms of infrastructure and urbanization in Nigeria. Please enjoy your views. Okay, notably too, Rivers State is named after many rivers that borders its territory. Rivers State is also famous for its vast reserves of crude oil and natural gas. As I said, it's perhaps the richest and most important sector of the African zone of the prime British Empire. Rivers State has two major refineries, as I said, located in Eleme, two major seaports. It has airports and various industrial estates spread across the land. More than 60% of the country's output of crude oil is produced in the state. Other natural resources found within its boundaries are silica, glass, sand, and clay. It's such a wonderfully blessed state. It might not be its best at the moment, but like I always say, I believe God that Rivers State will get better. Please enjoy your views. Quite notably, Rivers State is nicknamed the treasure base of the nation. Okay, so like we said earlier, Akwa Ibom is a land of promise. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Prior to the discovery of oil, agriculture was the mainstay of its economy. So about 30% of the state's total landmass is suitable for crop cultivation. Agriculture is such a big deal in Nigeria. So if you want to invest in Nigeria, I will advise, don't just want to invest in oil and gas. Please invest in agriculture. You will certainly see the turnover. Rivers State is also a very lucrative place for the fishing industry. Please enjoy your views. right, so we've talked about Uyo, the beginning point of the road trip. We've talked about Port Harcourt, where we had a stopover briefly. And now I want us to look briefly at Warri. Okay, so the city of Warri is an oil hub within South Nigeria, and is the capital of Delta State government. Warri State is one of the major hubs of the petroleum industry in Nigeria. The city is the indigenous territory of the Ishikiri, Urhobo, and Ijaw people. The executive governor at the moment is Sheriff Oborev Warri. Please pardon me if I didn't pronounce it well. The languages predominantly is Pidgin English, Ishikiri, Urhobo, and Ijaw. Okay, so Warri shares border with Ovie to the east, Udu to the southeast, Ogbejo to the south, and other communities in Warri South local government area to the west. Due to its rapid population growth and linked roads, the city and its border towns merged to form what is called Warri. So Warri sits on the bank of Warri River, which joined Focados River and Evacavos River through Jones Creek in the lower Niger Delta region. The city has a modern seaport which serves as a cargo transit point between Niger River and the Atlantic Ocean for import and export. Warri served as the capital of the colonial Warri province during the early 90s, when this part of Delta State was under the colony and protectorate of southern Nigeria. So Warri is a city in the southwestern part of Niger Delta. Is the capital of Delta State. It has a long history as a major city for crude oil industry in the country. In 1978, Warri became the site of Nigeria's second petroleum refinery. An oil product pipeline runs from the refinery to Kaduna and Kano in the northern state. At nearby Alagas, an integrated steel plant designed to make Greater Warri one of the leading steel centers in the country was opened in 1981. Warri Town also has furniture and soft drink factories, secondary school, trade schools, government hospital, and a handicraft center. Please enjoy your views. Alright, so as I said, if you have to talk about Warri, we'll have to talk about Delta, because Warri is in Delta State. So Delta is a state in the south-south geopolitical zone of Nigeria, named after the Niger Delta, a large part of which is in the state. The state was formed from former Bendel State, some August 1991. It is bordered to the north by Edo State, the east by Anambra and Rivers State, the south by Bayelsa State, while to the west by Ondo State and the Bight of Benin, which covers about 160 kilometers of the state's coastline. The state was initially created with 12 local government areas, but later expanded to 19 and now has 25 local government areas. The capital is not Warri, please. The capital of Delta State is Asaba. So while Asaba and Warri are two major cities in Delta State. So while Asaba is located along River Niger to the northeast end of the state, but Warri, which is the state economic center, is, located to the southwest coastline. Please enjoy your views. So, of the 36 states of Nigeria plus FCT, Delta State is the 23rd largest in area and the 12th most populous, with an estimated population of about 7.8 million as of 2024. Please enjoy your views. Economically, Delta State is based around the production of crude oil and natural gas, it being one of the main, oil producing states in the country. But other key minor industries include agriculture, as the state has substantial oil palm, yam, cassava crops, along with fishing and heliculture. In large part due to its vast oil reserves, Delta has the fourth highest Human Development Index in the country. However, disputes between oil companies and local communities within the years of systematic, you know, non-agreement has led to hostility, which often, is often attributed to lack of development, which is a reason, of course, for lack of development in host communities. But I must say, Delta State has one of the best climatic conditions in Nigeria. Such a beautiful, beautiful place. Please enjoy your views. All right, so the journey continued. It just came to my mind to ask, are you from Akwa Ibom? Are you from Delta State? Are you from River State? Which do you think is the most beautiful of these three? Are you living in any of these three, or have you visited, or do you intend to visit? Let's talk in the comment section. Which one do you think is the best? For me, without bias, I have never really lived for a long time in Warri. I've never really lived for a long time in a River State, that's Port Harcourt. But I think I prefer Uyo, not just because I'm from Akwa Ibom, of course, I'm an Akwa Ibomite. No, but maybe because I've been there for a while and I understand the terrain, I'm used to the place. But I think it's more homely for me, maybe because I'm from there, like I said. But there are people that prefer the hustling and bustling of Port Harcourt, because I know Port Harcourt is something a little bit a mini form of Lagos, the hustling and bustling. Like somebody said sometime last week that Lagos people don't sleep. River State is almost bubbling like Lagos. And there is also Warri. I stayed in Warri for I think very few days, like 3 days. It's also laid back a bit, but I still prefer Uyo. So what do you think? Have you been to any of these places? But altogether, I would like to say, beyond my personal preferences, of course, they are all beautiful cities in beautiful states in the Nigerian country. Okay, they have their uniqueness. Like I talked about diversity, Nigeria is one country that is full of diversity, but in spite of our diversity, there's one thing that stands out: unity in spite of diversity. So Oyo is unique, Port Harcourt is unique, Warri is unique. They are all diverse in their ways, but all of them are very beautiful cities, very beautiful developing cities that given like 3 years or 5 years in the future, they will be established, and we can say that these are developed cities. Please enjoy your views. I don't know about you, but for me, I really, really enjoy road trips. Road trips, for some people, I've spoken to different people. Road trips is burdensome, road trip is scary, a road trip is stressful, but for me, it's pure fun. I've always said, and I'll continue to say, I love road trips, especially when you are in the comfort of a wonderful vehicle. It's such exciting. You get to have the feel of nature and really get to appreciate God's work in creation. As I've always said, passing through different places, you see the clouds, you see the roads, you see the waters, you see the green vegetations. It makes me really appreciate God. So I really, really love road trips. What about you? Do you travel, or you prefer to be in one place, or you prefer just doing your flight? What do you think? I love road trips. I can afford to fly, but I just prefer to be on the road sometimes when I have the opportunity to, because I don't have the opportunity all the time. But I must tell you from my experience, Nigeria is a beautiful country, is a country truly loved by God. When I pass from state to state, from land to land, I just appreciate the love of God. Everybody living wonderfully in spite of what many will say scarcity, in spite of inflations. People are still in the markets, are still full. People are buying, people are selling, people are still traveling. The car parks are full and all of that. Even the airports are filled with people. God has been faithful. God is still wonderful, and life is still going on. Please enjoy the rest of your views. It was also exciting for me to see that most of the roads have been worked on. There are some roads that have not been worked on, but they are not very okay, but you can see signs of improvement. You can see tractors on the way. You can see things that indicate that these things are work in progress. It's really exciting to see this. I appreciate the government of these three states. I appreciate the government of Nigeria as a whole. And I always say Nigeria is a blessed country with great people and great resources. It's a matter of time. I believe in Nigeria so much. And I believe no matter what we see today, it can only get better. The best of Nigeria and the best of this wonderful state is yet to come. Please enjoy your views. All right, so gradually here we are in WARRI Delta State. It was such an exciting journey, as I said. It was so fulfilling that, we arrived safe, we arrived on time. Like I said, Warri is such a beautiful, beautiful place, a land that, who said is work in progress. I want to especially appreciate our old and new subscribers. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for loving what we do. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your encouragement. I see the love and I really appreciate it from the depth of my heart. And I like to say, God bless you. I love you so much. Thank you for standing with us all through the time. Thank you for watching our videos. We have more than 5,000 watch hours. It's a proof that you actually commit yourself to watching our videos, and for this I say thank you. God bless you. Looking forward, all right, to road to 1,000 subscribers, road to monetization, and road to greater things that we have in stock to do. Thank you, thank you, thank you again for staying through with us. I'll be signing out briefly, but please continue watching. This is the beautiful city of Warri in Delta State. I love you all. God bless you. Bye for now, but see you in our next video. Happy New Month and happy weekend. Bye.